A typical American walk signal will come on for only a few seconds, then turn to a flashing hand with a countdown timer showing how much time is left to cross the street.
In the United States, evil is built right into the infrastructure.
This means that if you're not waiting at the intersection at just the right time to cross, you missed your chance and have to wait another light cycle. Crossing distances can be very, very long in North America as well, meaning that there's a very long time that a person walking is vulnerable in the intersection. This is particularly bad in many parts of the American South, like here in Las Vegas, because these places are designed almost exclusively to move as many cars as possible, not for the benefit of people outside of cars. It's very telling that North American cities will spend millions of dollars on projects designed to speed up a driver's commute by a few minutes, but routinely make road changes that add to the time it takes to walk somewhere. And finally, there are slip lanes like this one that allow drivers to turn right without a signal and without slowing down. These are extremely dangerous for people outside of cars and should never be used where people are expected to cross. They really highlight that North American traffic engineers value the convenience of the people who drive more than the lives of the people who walk.
So this TikTok by Not Just Bikes points out the fact that our infrastructure puts convenience, personal convenience, quite literally over people's lives. Now, it's no secret that American roads are incredibly dangerous. But the thing that a lot of people might not realize is that this is something that is very much intentional. Quite literally, the design of American cities is centered around the personal convenience of individuals, specifically individuals that are rich enough to afford a personally owned vehicle. And there are two results of that are incredibly detrimental to society. First and foremost is the fact that being a pedestrian in the United States is growing increasingly deadly. Year over year, it's actually increased the number of traffic fatalities, specifically pedestrians that are hit by cars. Now, one of the major reasons for that is the fact that trucks and cars keep getting bigger, especially trucks and SUVs, where the face of the trucks is now growing to the point where some of them are even well above 6 feet, and so they leave huge blind spots in front of them. And then you have the fact that the way that our roads are designed are not friendly to pedestrians because they are incredibly difficult to cross. And even places where there are marked crossing walks, very often cars feel perfectly comfortable just breezing right through them. And a reason why so many people do is basically because there's no enforcement, on top of the fact that because they are so rare, people literally just aren't used to them. They're not looking for pedestrian crosswalk. And with this design also, you have the big problem where if you are trying to walk somewhere, even if that place is very, very close to where you are physically, you might have to walk 1 or 2 blocks in order to cross the street, in order to walk back 1 or 2 blocks. But then there's the other layer to this, which is the simple fact that you actually significantly increase transit times for personally owned vehicles by prioritizing personally owned vehicles. I mean, quite literally, if you have ever found yourself frustrated that you are sitting in traffic, you need to recognize that you are the traffic, and you thinking that it's convenient to go from A to B at any time that you please, specifically inside of your own car, that you are part of the problem. Because we've designed our cities such that even public transit can have a difficult time navigating roads that are primarily organized towards individual vehicles. And with everybody having an individual vehicle, not only does it cost the economy a ridiculous amount of money, but it also clogs up the roads and makes it so that traveling places is much more inconvenient. If we actually organize our cities around public transit, it would be a lot easier and faster to go from any place to another. And yet, because everybody on an individual level wants to get from A to B slightly faster than other people, at a collective level, everybody gets to where they're going a lot slower. In a world full of public transit, it might be better for you individually to have a car, but the more people that have a car, the less useful it is to have a car. And the whole benefit of personally owned vehicles goes completely away. And in all of these ways, our society is designed to prioritize personal convenience at the expense of everything else. Quite literally, personal convenience is placed over people's lives. And I think we saw that pretty clearly with the coronavirus pandemic, where people thought it was inconvenient to wear a mask, and so quite literally, our entire country let millions of people die as a result. The same thing is effectively true when it comes to traffic death. Fundamentally, traffic deaths are the result of ruthless, shameless, selfish capitalism where everybody thinks that they have a right to have their own personally owned vehicle and have all of the infrastructure in the country centered around the assumption that they're going to have a personally owned vehicle, not even realizing the fact that they are slowing themselves down in the process. Because once again, if it wasn't for all that traffic, buses and trains would be a heck of a lot faster. And if we actually built our cities around buses and trains, you could probably walk to pretty much everywhere you want to go. And the thing is, even the rich people that say that they want car-centric development pay a pretty penny extra just to live in walkable areas.